Hello, I'm Pastor Ryan, and we are continuing our discussion of the marks of maturity. We have moved to our fourth mark, which is peacemakers. When I preached the sermon, I talked about how peace is the point of it all, shalom is the point of it all. If you look at the 7 days of creation, God creates rest, which is a form of peace, right? So that means that the trajectory of creation on the seventh day is rest, Sabbath. And so the point of everything is to enjoy a perfect Sabbath rest with God. And this mark of maturity comes from when Jesus speaks in the Sermon on the Mount. We've got the Beatitudes. He says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called God's children." And so if we want to be children of God, if we want to be co-heirs with Christ, we should be peacemakers. Of course, that's not the only place. The scripture is full of reference to peacemakers, just a few. And Romans, Paul says, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. In Hebrews, this gets repeated, make every effort to live at peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. But wisdom comes from heaven, is first of all pure, then peace-loving, then considerate, submissive, full of mercy, full of good fruit, impartial and sincere. Peacemakers who sow in peace reap in a harvest of righteousness. And then in Acts chapter 10, it says, You know the message of God sent to the people of Israel, announcing the good news of peace through Jesus Christ, who is Lord of all. The good news of peace through Jesus Christ, right? So the good news is about peace. It's about righteousness, holiness, right? But we can express the gospel as entering into God's peace. In fact, that is kind of what Ephesians says. In Ephesians chapter 2, it says, "For he himself is our peace, who has made the two groups one, and has destroyed the barrier, the dividing wall of hostility, by setting aside his flesh and the law with its commandments and regulations. His purpose was to create in himself one new humanity out of the two, thus making peace, and in the one body to reconcile both of them to God through the cross, by which he put to death their hostility. He came and preached peace to those who were far off, and peace to those who were near. For through him we both have access to the Father by one Spirit." So, peacemaking is not an option. It is necessary. I know sometimes we don't want to put conditions, but like if the word Christian is going to have a content, any content, if it's going to have any definitional quality, then one of the scriptures that you cannot rip away from how you define a Christian, like what does a Christian look like? Who is a mature Christian? We make peace. That's a part of our job, is making peace. So we're going to talk about making peace with God and how we are at peace with God. We're going to talk about peace within the church, and then we're going to talk about making peace outside of the church. And a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in this series is going to be familiar. Like, of course we do that. Yeah, this isn't new. But hopefully as we piece them together and put this in the gloss of peacemaking, you'll see how the 4 other marks of maturity, right? Live the story of God, how that's a part of peacemaking, how being kind-hearted is a part of peacemaking, how communing with God and with others is peacemaking, and how essential peacemaking is for our 5th mark, equipping others. So I hope that you will stay tuned for this series. It'll be a great time together. God bless and take care.